panel is looking more at locations and I think on talent, and I think I'm going to focus it on more on talent because we've talked a lot about the facilities, but obviously talking about how the facilities are helping the talent. As has been made clear in the last two panels, over the last 15 years, 2 decades, the Middle East and North Africa have really been propelled onto the world stage as a shooting location with developments in Morocco, the Emirates, Jordan, and now Saudi Arabia. The region is, 650 million people, as Wayne pointed out, representing 6% of the world's population, but 1% of the content. But that is changing. There's a real desire in the region from youngsters to see themselves on the screen and to be making that content, not just having the content imported, and also to be part of the global film industry. There is a tendency, as was also mentioned in the last panel, to look at the MENA as a place with like amazing desert landscapes and a place that international players can find money. But it's a lot more than that. And so we're going to talk about that. So I just want to quickly introduce the panelists, and then we're just going to go straight into questions. We're not really going to talk about ourselves each, because I think everybody kind of knows who you are on the stage. So to my immediate left, I have Monahad Al-Bakri. You're the managing director of the Jordanian Film Commission. Then I have Ahmed Havez. You're an editor on Inshallah a Boy, which is in Cannes Critics Week, amazing film. And you also did Marvel's Moonlight. Wow, that's crazy. And then also you did Clash and Amira working with Mohammed Diab. Then we have Amjad Abu Alala. You are a director of You Will Die at 20, and also you've got Goodbye Julia in Un Certain Regard. Wayne, I won't forget to introduce you this time. So Wayne Borg, Managing Director, Media Industries, Entertainment and Culture. And at the very end, Marco Orsini, and you are the founder of IFTA, which is the International Emerging Film Talent Association. So, Monahad, I would just like to start with you, because I think Jordan is a really interesting case study in that the film industry sort of started up a decade, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, and you are a territory where you really have tried to build the crews. Could you just talk a little bit about that experience and what you did to make that happen? And now, do you think having those crews is a plus? Do you think it's why sometimes, obviously they come for the location, but do you think that also encourages them to come to the region?
Yes, first, if you allow me, I want to thank the Arab Cinema Center for setting up this panel discussion. Today, Jordan is celebrating, the Royal Film Commission is celebrating its 20th anniversary, and through the past 20 years, there were several elements that we wanted to focus on, and one of the most important elements was to build the capacities of the Jordanians to be able to build the industry, not only the international services, but also the local content. Throughout those years, we managed to work, because Jordan doesn't have a film school, or as it was mentioned earlier, during early education, there's nothing to tap into the development of the talents. So the Film Commission took this role and worked from zero on technical and creative, working with the Jordanian talents or Jordanian people who are interested to be a part of the industry. Throughout the experiences that we've had, whether through the workshops, starting with producing and directing and creating their own short content, lots of productions coming from abroad comes into the country. And the placement of those talents in the international productions that came to Jordan helped us also a lot to have the high standards of a crew that can work within an international productions, but also the local production. Now, if we look at the film industry in Jordan, in the past 6-7 years, our own original creation of stories is becoming very, very popular, very successful all around the cinemas and festivals around the world because of the investment of the talents through the training programs that we provided. This is one element. The enabling environment that we provided for the filmmakers helped a lot. Also, when we look at foreign production coming to Jordan, there's always an element of incentive for the international production that they need, first of all, to have 20, not less than 20 interns to be part of the production, but also to have, because of this, the financial incentive that we provide.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to move on to you, Ahmed, because you haven't got much time. So I've come back to some more questions at the end, if possible. I find your case so interesting because quite often when I'm looking at the crew for Middle Eastern films, you've got like lots of local talent, and then when it comes to the top crew, the editors, the cinematographer, they're not from the region, but you are from the region. Can you just explain a little bit briefly how you made it and you know got to this position when you're working on these big productions?
Yeah, well, I'll try to describe it a bit fast because I don't have time. I think we made it because we were three. We was Mohammed Diab, the director, and Hisham Nazi, the music composer, and I. We made it to the final line. I think through Plage, through the film that Mohammed did and they screened here in Cannes in 2017. I think we made it through this film. So I believe we need to work more to the stories that related to us that will take us outside, will take us to the international market. That's very briefly and very fast.
Oh, so because Clash played here in a certain regard, you think these kinds of festivals are so it's important that these films get selected?
I'm pretty sure.
Right, okay. And then you went to Hollywood with Mohammed.
Yes, exactly. In Moon Knight. We worked in Moon Knight. I think working in Hollywood, it's not that hard. I consider myself lucky that Mohammed recommend me to Marvel. And it's not that hard. I think they were just searching, because now it's for the diversity. As I'm searching to work in Hollywood, they are searching for the talent and from the worldwide. So it's for me, I'm searching to work in Hollywood, and they are searching for us also.
Oh, that's interesting. So, and you edited Inshallah Boy, which is the first Jordanian film, I think, in Cannes, in the history of Cannes. Yes. But are you thinking of going back to Hollywood? Are you getting other offers on the back of
Actually, I got 3 offers after Moon Knight. Okay. And I was... all my friends see that I'm crazy, that I'm going back to our market, because I love to work to the topics related to us. So I'm searching for any topic that touched me, and so yeah, I'm maybe I will stay like this, 2-3 projects and related to me, and 1 project related to the international market, and I will take it like this.
Okay, thank you. So Amjad, this is a sort of an interesting time, because obviously the Sudanese film industry was just growing, and now we've had all the problems in Khartoum. But can you explain a little bit? I mean, I think you said you were based in Dubai, but the films you're making are Sudanese and Sudanese identity. So what helped you break out into international and get some positioning on the international stage? What was it that changed?
Well, actually, I born and raised in Dubai. But 3 years ago, I moved to Cairo. Now I live there in Cairo. But definitely being in Dubai for 37 years, it helped me being in the world. You know, Dubai is very cosmopolitan city. Since the school and going to the festivals that was happening for 14 years there, Abu Dhabi Film Festival or Dubai Film Festival. So I was every year there, focusing in the market, seeing how countries without funds, public funds, managing to do. So I've been introduced to the co-production, and I was really studying it as I can to prepare myself for my dream. My dream is making films in Sudan, and that time, you know, the government is al-Bashir and all this political Islamic government. So it was definitely no way they will support cinema, but they reach a level of not being against it if it happened, but just without helping. So that's how I just try to develop myself as a director and producer, because even doing this as a director, You Will Die at 20, for example, with 5 producers, but I can manage as a co-producer their things. So I think that helped me a lot to understand and navigate my way to help another Sudanese project like now, Goodbye Julia. So I think now when we made Goodbye Julia, it was easier in terms of people trust us, people inside Sudan or people out Sudan. They have trust on us after You Will Die at 20. So it wasn't hard doing the map, the co-production map. It wasn't hard for me, but definitely bringing international crew with the Sudanese crew. And the rain is high, so my voice will be higher.
Run!
Yeah. So I think doing Goodbye Julia, we start doing it when there is a military cup and there is every day protesting on the streets. So even part of the scheduling, it was like, oh, today is the protesting day, so we will do night. Or, like we have a schedule of the protesting, and we have our schedule. So the AD, Nadim Salib, really suffered with us on this. But also, I'm very glad that we made it before things goes that wrong, like now the war in Sudan.
I mean, I interviewed Mohamed Kodafani, the director of that film, and he'd also set up a production company. It's a lot of people working, setting up their own companies, which is very interesting.
Exactly. Since I was doing You Will Die at 20, Mo Kordofani, before the shoot, he told me about the film, and we did some pitching even before I shoot You Will Die at 20. So in You Will Die at 20, he was with me there, just observing. And after that, he established like a rental house and production on-ground company. So my company, Station Films, we were doing, you know, all the funding and choosing like a main production. And it's great that we like he started this Colosseum Studios with a lot of talents who are working every day or week, you know, in NGOs, movies, or TV ads, no cinema, unfortunately, maybe some shorts. But that really helped when we came to do Goodbye Julia. We have a based industry. Not like when we did You Will Die at 20, there were nothing. I mean, we had to cast everyone. We have to cast everyone as an actors, and to cast even the production designer who can do production design, who can do stylist, because there is no cinema at that time there in Sudan. So I think it really it was a journey, and I don't think the war will stop it. The war is ugly and bad, but we felt it. We felt it coming.
It's kind
Yes,
of
we
a
felt it
fragile
coming.
ecosystem.
But I'm still saying, like, Sudan is the land of untold stories. Maybe this is the good side of not having cinema.
Yeah.
You have a lot of untold stories, a lot of unseen faces. So I think that will continue now more, maybe after the war, because now we have a lot of stories also to tell the world about.
So, Wayne, do you mind if I just go to Marco for talent?
You
Is that okay? I'll just give you a break. So, Marco, I wanted to understand how you see your organisation fitting into this, because there is this kind of disconnect between all this talent and getting it seen and getting it represented.
Yeah, I think, just to be clear, what Ahmed said earlier, which is, I think the international film market, film festivals and film labs are looking for talents from the MENA region because they have stories that are so unique and interesting, and they have the talent. And so IEFTA's role in coming to film festivals like Guna and Cairo, and working with Palestine Film Lab and Jordanian Amman Film Festival. They focus on finding emerging filmmakers, and our goal is to connect them to the international film market. We've had great success in the sense that a lot of our filmmakers continue to do co-production deals. They're working in the international community. They've started their own film collaboratives, production companies. They went from starting off saying, I have a film, it's my first feature, I'm looking to see how I can maybe get into a film festival, to being here in Cannes or in other festivals, major international festivals, and actually having multi-productions going on at the same time. And so for any international organization here that is looking to get involved in the MENA region in some capacity, I highly recommend you do it, because there is a lot of talent, and not just above the line but below the line. There are a lot of good filmmakers, camera operators, editors, everywhere. I think Egypt is a very strong market to find these people. This is where I've met a lot of the filmmakers in the audience. Palestine has a great film movement. Jordan has a great film movement. And so for us to be able to tap into this market and be able to access these filmmakers, it makes us look good, because we can just then work with our partners like Torino and DAE and Marché, EFM, and say we have these great talents that you should look at.
But it does feel that at the moment the main sort of conduit is the festivals and the workshops, and then obviously Mad Solutions, you're doing agency, but that's quite rare at the moment, to be able to just like look up and I need somebody for this film, and you can go through a list of agents. That doesn't really exist yet. We've got Mad Solutions, but there's not a whole range of agencies.
I think everyone is wearing several hats in the MENA region. For example, I am a founding board member of an organization called IEFTA, but I'm also a filmmaker that happened to do a film in the MENA region. And I think that there's Mad Solution, there's Arab Cinema. It's a bit complicated in the MENA region. Everyone has to wear more than one hat in order to move things forward. But it also takes a village to work with one filmmaker. They need all the support they can get. We used to be mentoring filmmakers on how to make films. Now they're just calling us up and saying, we need a little bit of money to fly to Cannes. We need a little bit of help to secure funds doing, something in Venice, and we provide those funds. They no longer need the mentorship from us, because they've developed their talents. So I think when you go to the MENA region, you know there's room for different players, but you have to wear different hats in order to survive the market.
So Wayne, it's a very short.
It's fine.
Panel.
I had my moment in the sun before.
So I was just wondering, how does Neom? I mean, you have talked about it quite a lot in the previous two panels, but how does Neom fit into this? And like my vision of Neom, it's this place with lots of people working from all different nationalities. How do you see it? And how?
Yeah, it's exactly that. As we said earlier, it is about how we attract the best talent from around the world. And if we're going to have a vibrant ecosystem, we need to encourage, right across the process, whether from the creators, to the production process, and we're really looking to enable as much of that as we can, through our, learning partners, working with industry and creating the circularity, because I think often what's happened in the past, it's been a bit piecemeal. There's been great ambition to train young people, but then there hasn't been the industry to support them, or the ability to attract young people who want to stay in their home country and work in the industry and pursue a career, but then where's the jobs, where's the business? So that's what we're trying to bring together at Neom from a media industry's perspective, is that ecosystem in its entirety, so that young people can enter as trainees, they can find meaningful work and go on to successful careers and stay within the region. So hopefully that continues to flourish and grow that talent pool and tell the stories, as was highlighted earlier by Ahmed, that want to come back and tell the stories and reflect one's culture on the screen. And that's that shouldn't be lost, and that should be encouraged, and we should do everything we can to put the infrastructure in place, not just about the production infrastructure, but the learning infrastructure to support that.
This is a bit of a curveball, but I mean, one of the things we don't have very much in the Middle East is film schools. I mean, I know Cairo does. Could you envisage Neom eventually?
Absolutely. You know, and we're not necessarily going to have a pick a brand from the international marketplace and say, well, okay, we'll take that brand and we'll locate them at Neom. What we're doing today is actually looking at what industry needs are, where are the immediate needs, where are the medium term and longer term needs, and working with a range of institutions regionally and internationally to develop curriculum that fulfills those requirements. And then additionally, if it doesn't exist, we'll develop that curriculum ourselves to meet the needs. So again, I think we've got to be responsive, we've got to be somewhat fluid, and at the same time, in this new world that we're in, not just assume it's been done the way it's been done for the last 40 or 50 years.
Okay, well, it's very short. Do you have more time, or are we...
I think everybody's wet to the bone. I think that's...
I have 5 more minutes. So.
You're putting these people through torture here. Let's have a vote of hands. Have you had enough?
No.
No? Wow, okay. All right.
So I'll go back to you, because we didn't really talk so much about Jordan. When a production like June comes in and shoots there, what percentage of the crew is local? That's a bit of a hard question.
No, not at all. Project like Dune, almost 60 to 70% of the crew on the ground are Jordanians. And as I mentioned earlier, this is the case in most of the international productions that comes to the country, and this is a selling point for it. You don't need to bring all your crew with you. Most of the above the line are coming from abroad. The majority below the line are also being working on the project. So even above the line, if I may mention, like Star Wars, the second AD of Star Wars was a Jordanian who had the opportunity to work with them above the line. It's not also about the quantity, but also it's about the quality, the experience, the journey that they've been through, not only technically but also culturally. This is something that is built within the Jordanian crew. That's why lots of productions going to Saudi Arabia. Our crew, the Jordanian crew, is working in Saudi Arabia and other countries. Many of the international productions comes to Jordan and take with them percentage of the Jordanian crew to the next location in Europe, for example, to continue for the continuity of it. I have to mention one very important element. Part of the building the capacity of the filmmakers in general is the cultural component. We've been running a program since the inception of the Film Commission of screening of films from all around the world, not only the moving images, but also to meet filmmakers, to get inspired, to hear their journeys from the region and the world. This also built the understanding of what it means to tell stories, and that's why we are today celebrating so many successful Jordanian films all around the world.
No, that's true. Actually, that you've got that wonderful Cinematheque and all the events you have there. It's really yes. Wonderful. Yeah. So and Ahmed, I mean, just going back to the what I find often, as we said before, was that the top crew are not from the region. What do you think you need to get more technical crew coming through? Like, how did you become an editor? Like, how did you physically learn to edit? Was there's schools in Cairo? I mean, Egypt does have film schools, but
actually, I didn't study anything related to cinema. Yeah, I studied business and business administration. I can't say that I get into the industry by luck, but I decided to be an editor when I was 15, I went to ask someone about something about the graphics, and then I saw the machines. I saw that there's someone working with the sound and the picture. So I decided back then to be an editor. I think being a filmmaker in Egypt, it's not that hard. It's easy because I think we have a very big industry. So I think, yeah, I'm considering myself lucky.
But would you like to, I mean, Ruben Ostlund, when he was on the stage on the opening night, he talked about how he teaches. And I found that fascinating. Would you like to see a situation in the Middle East where there are these film schools and all of you, 10 years down the line, you're teaching the next generation? Do you think, is that something you would like to see, Amjad?
Yeah, I think I start doing that, and somehow the last 2 years I'm mentoring like two projects from Ethiopia, one project from Uganda, and also with Saudi films, short films, Dao project. I mentored like 7 short films. I enjoy doing that because it's just like transferring what you have, transferring the knowledge that you got. In terms of production or script writing or directing, I wear all those 3 hats. So sometimes I like to deliver it to others. Yeah, and Jordan soon. Yeah. So yes, I think I enjoying also talking to the new generation. I like my friends also to be like in 20s, so I feel young forever, you know. Yeah.
Well, I think on that note, because I did get a sign, I had to wrap it up. So I think on that note, I think your comments really show that there is this ecosystem which is becoming more and more sort of rich and flourishing. And I really do, yeah, I think the international film industry really needs to sort of take note and make even more connections, you know, with the talents that are in the area. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, and keep bearing all the rain. Thank you.